Walt Disney World is arguably the most famous theme park on the planet, but it's not just one park. The resort actually contains a whopping 4 different theme parks. They pull attendance numbers that are pretty much otherwise unheard of and are known for having some of the best theming around. But a trip here isn't cheap, so which of the 4 parks should you try to spend the most time at? In today's video, I'll be ranking them up and letting you know the pros and cons of each park. Also, if you aren't already subscribed, please consider becoming my newest sub. I just want to say a huge thank you for 25 subscribers. I know there might not be many of us out there yet, but I truly appreciate each and every one of you guys. And without further ado, let's hop into the video. Now before we get into the number 4 spot, I just want to say that this video is largely based off my opinions, and if you have your own opinions, that's perfectly fine. But I'll let you know what each park does well so you can decide which ones are worth going to. The last time I went to Disney World was in 2018, so when I go back in 2022, it'll be fun to see if my rankings change. Also, I love all 4 of these parks, so a day at any of them is awesome. Starting off our list at the number 4 spot is Epcot. Like I said, I love this park, and it was pretty hard for me to put it at the bottom spot. Anyway, Epcot stands for Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow, and is Walt's vision for a perfect utopian society. This park is divided into 2 sections, World Showcase in the back and Future World in the front. I enjoy both of these areas, but they don't really fit together in my opinion. They are exceptionally themed, so I don't mind this, but I've always thought that the future mixed with the present day cultures is a bit weird. When you enter the front gates, you're greeted by the iconic golf ball, which houses a fun dark ride called Spaceship Earth. To your left, you have the intense space simulator, which is called Mission Space, along with one of the more thrilling Disney rides, Test Track. These are both fun rides that I try to do at least once every time I visit Epcot. Also to your left is the building that will house Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. This will actually be the first roller coaster to ever operate at Epcot, and I'm super excited for this. Not having a coaster is definitely a downside for coaster enthusiasts like me, and I'm glad they're finally fixing that. If you decide to go right, you'll first run into a large aquarium, then the building dubbed The Land. The Land houses a food court, a fun boat ride called Living with the Land, and the awesome flying theater, Soarin'. Soarin' and Test Track are easily the best 2 attractions at Epcot because they're well themed and offer some thrills. Now the back half of the park is called World Showcase. World Showcase has 11 lands themed to different countries. It has a perfect setting on the lake and unbelievable flow between the countries. It also has top-notch, authentic food from the various nations. I really enjoy World Showcase for those reasons, but my only complaint is the lack of rides. They do have Frozen Ever After and Grand Fiesta, which are fun boat rides, but the rest of World Showcase is just shows and shops, but they are fun to check out. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, but personally, when I go to a park, I'm looking for the rides, and Epcot is kind of lacking them. When Ratatouille and Cosmic Rewind open in the coming months, this park will be a decent amount better, and only time will tell if it remains my number 4 spot. If you're into rides, this park may only need a day, but if you're a foodie, I'd spend a few days here. Coming in at the number 3 spot is the world's largest theme park, Animal Kingdom. To start off, this park doesn't have the most rides, but the ones it does have are exceptional. Animal Kingdom also might be the best themed park in the country for its incredible landscaping, ongoing theme of life, and fun attractions. Ever since I was a little kid, I've been fascinated by animals, and a whole park themed around them is just an incredible vibe. Animal Kingdom actually has the best atmosphere, in my opinion, of any park I've been to. I mean, just take a look at this. See what I mean? After making a long journey out to Animal Kingdom, you enter the park into the section called the Oasis. The Oasis has some nice plants, water features, and a few animal enclosures that fit in perfectly. Once you get to the end of this section, you'll see the iconic Tree of Life, which is a massive man-made baobab tree with 300 animals carved into it. The Tree of Life houses the 4D show It's Tough to Be a Bug and is located on Discovery Island. Discovery Island has various shops and restaurants and is essentially the main hub of Animal Kingdom. If you travel down to the right, you'll end up in Dinoland, USA. Dinoland is themed to a classic American fairground that's themed to dinosaurs. Yeah, a themed land within a themed land. It used to house Dinorama, which was a dual-track Wild Mouse coaster. Fun fact, this is actually the only roller coaster Disney World has ever removed. You have different games and fair-like rides, along with a pretty good dark ride with an incredibly original name, Dinosaur. This whole land is solid, but it's definitely my least favorite area in the park. It doesn't really give off that same great feel that the rest of the park does, and should be the next redone land if you ask me, but it's all uphill from here. Next, you'll hit the Asia section of the park. It's very pretty with the different Asian-inspired buildings and a massive replica of a Himalayan mountain. Though the ride is called Expedition Everest, it actually is supposed to be the mountain next to Everest. Sorry if I just shattered your whole view of reality, but that one's on Disney. Nonetheless, this mountain is absolutely sick, and houses one of my favorite rides at the whole resort. Expedition Everest is my favorite coaster at Walt Disney World, and I'll always try to snag multiple rides on it. Kalili River Rapids is also in this section, but it's one of the few rides I haven't ridden. It looks to be well themed, but it is by far the biggest soaker at all of Walt Disney World. You also have quite a few animal exhibits in Asia if you're interested in them. Next up is Africa. Africa has a ton of animal exhibits if you take the time to do them. It also is home to Kilimanjaro Safaris, which is a safari attraction where you drive through massive animal exhibits. Kilimanjaro is a good fun ride, especially if you want to see some animals but not walk through the exhibits. And the final land is one of the most immersive and crazy theme park areas you'll ever step into. It probably is my absolute favorite theme park land that I've been in. I'm talking about Pandora, the world of Avatar. The immersion and rock work in this land is honestly mind-boggling, and I can't wait to experience it again soon. They have two rides here with the fun-looking Navi River Journey, and quite possibly my favorite Disney attraction, Flight of Passage. From being able to feel your banshee breathing to the amazing 3D graphics, Flight of Passage is such a world-class experience. Animal Kingdom is only at the 3 spot because it just doesn't have a ton of rides, but the theming, atmosphere, and animals make for a pretty fun park. My second favorite Disney World park is Hollywood Studios. Hollywood Studios has had an incredible glow up over the past few decades and has gone from the worst Disney park to arguably the best. It doesn't have as good of an atmosphere as Animal Kingdom, but the ride lineup here is something you can't ignore. From the airtime-packed Tower of Terror to the addictive shooting dark ride Toy Story Mania, this park truly has something for everyone. In 2022, when I go back to the park, I think it just could become my favorite at the resort. But until I experience Star Wars Galaxy's Edge for myself, I just can't place it at number 1. I also missed Toy Story Land by about 2 weeks, so I still have yet to experience Slinky Dog Dash, and obviously I still need to do Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway as well. Even though this park has received a lot of new additions in recent years, it was still a great park in 2018. It has a great simulator ride in Star Tours and a well-themed fun launch coaster in Rock and Roller Coaster. Even though I said Hollywood Studios didn't have as good of a vibe as Animal Kingdom, it still has a nice atmosphere with that replica of the Chinese theater and some other cool buildings that are reminiscent of Hollywood. I really like the park's lineup, with Tower of Terror probably being my favorite. It has a good spooky theme and a ton of airtime since you just have seatbelts. Even though I haven't ridden Rise of the Resistance, it looks like it's probably the best dark ride on the planet, so that definitely helps out the park. Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run also looks like a ton of fun, and I can't wait to pilot my own version of the legendary Falcon. Slinky Dog looks like a fun family coaster that just might top my list when it comes to family-oriented rides. And the first ever ride themed solely to Mickey and Friends looks very unique and enjoyable. If you're into more thrilling attractions and mind-boggling immersive lands, or maybe you're just a Star Wars nerd, make sure you spend some time at Hollywood Studios. And coming in at the number 1 spot is Magic Kingdom. This probably isn't a surprise to most of you since this is Walt Disney World's first ever park and most famous park. Disney has built up an incredible ride lineup here, and for good reason, since it's the world's single most attended theme park. First off, when you get to the park, it just all has such a great feel. If you grew up on Disney movies like me, you'll probably absolutely love Magic Kingdom. It is a great mix of classic and modern rides and an abundance of shows. When you enter the park, you'll see one of the most photographed theme park areas of all time, Main Street, USA. Every last building is perfectly positioned on Main Street, making it so you cannot see any of the other massive buildings or attractions in the park, other than, of course, Cinderella's castle. You then have 5 more awesome lands with Adventureland, Frontierland, Liberty Square, Fantasyland, and Tomorrowland. Adventureland has a nice jungle theme to it, along with some great classic attractions in Jungle Cruise and Pirates of the Caribbean. Frontierland has a nice western theme with 2 of Disney's most iconic and fun rides, Splash Mountain and Big Thunder Mountain. Next up is Liberty Square, which houses some good patriotic attractions such as the Hall of Presidents, along with the incredibly well-known Haunted Mansion. Fantasyland has by far the most attractions and is always fun to hang out in. Small World, Peter Pan, Winnie the Pooh, Teacups, and The Little Mermaid are just some examples of the fun rides here in Fantasyland. The immensely popular Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is also located in this section of the park, along with one of my favorite shows, Mickey's PhilharMagic. The Storybook Circus is also a part of Fantasyland and is a great kids area. The final land in Magic Kingdom has always been a personal favorite of mine. I'm talking about Tomorrowland. I love the way Disney Imagineering depicts the future, and being a huge technology guy, I've always felt right at home here. Tomorrowland has Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin, the incredibly fun Shooting Dark ride, as well as Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor, which is a pretty funny show. You also have arguably the world's most famous roller coaster, Space Mountain. This 46-year-old coaster is still incredibly popular to this day and always offers a fun ride. Tron Light Cycle Run should open in 2022 right next to Space Mountain, and it looks like a ton of fun. The concept of just the way the seats and restraints are, along with the incredible theming, looks like a great ride. Magic Kingdom is beyond stacked with rides and entertainment options, and I only named a few. You also have a bunch of restaurants, shops, and like all Disney parks, character meet and greets. Honestly, I don't think any Disney park, other than maybe Disneyland or Tokyo Disney Sea, could dethrone the amazing Magic Kingdom. If you're looking for a ton of classic and modern rides mixed into one park with that great Disney feel, then Magic Kingdom is absolutely for you. Alright, so just for a quick recap, my fourth favorite park is Epcot, but if you're into lots of different cultures and their foods, then Epcot's for you. My third pick was Animal Kingdom, and if you want a great themed park with lots of animals, check out Animal Kingdom. My second favorite was Hollywood Studios, and if you want some more thrilling rides from popular films, make sure to check out Hollywood Studios. And my personal favorite park is Magic Kingdom for its incredible Disney theming and ride lineup. Let me know in the comments down below how you'd rank the 4 Walt Disney World parks. Thank you all so much for watching today's video, and make sure you leave a like if you enjoyed. Stay safe, keep riding coasters, and I'll see you all in the next one.